Hello, beautiful soul. I want you to know that whatever brought you here today, whatever longing in your heart led you to this moment, you are exactly where you need to be. There's something stirring within you, isn't there? A deep knowing that there's more available to you than what you're currently experiencing. Maybe you've been praying, asking, pleading with God or the universe for something to change in your life. Maybe you've been wondering why some people seem to have everything flow so easily while you struggle and push and try so hard, yet the very things you desire most seem to stay just out of reach. I understand this feeling completely. There was a time in my own life when I felt like I was speaking a language that God couldn't understand. I would ask and ask, but it seemed like my prayers were bouncing off the ceiling. I felt disconnected, alone, and honestly, a little angry. Why wasn't I receiving what I needed? Why did it seem like others had a direct line to abundance while I was getting a busy signal? What I discovered changed everything for me, and I know it will change everything for you too. The truth is, God wants to give you everything your heart truly desires. Not just some things, not just the small things, but everything that aligns with your highest good and deepest joy. But here's what most of us were never taught. There's a specific way that divine love operates, and when we understand this sacred principle, our entire relationship with receiving transforms. It's not about being perfect or worthy enough. It's not about saying the right words or performing the right rituals. It's about understanding the very nature of divine love itself and how to align with it. Right now, as you listen to these words, I want you to place your hand on your heart and feel that gentle rhythm. This heart that beats within you is the same force that moves the stars and grows the flowers. You are not separate from the divine power that creates worlds. You are an expression of it, and this divine power that lives within you wants nothing more than to express itself through your life in the most beautiful, abundant, joyful ways possible. The question isn't whether you deserve it. The question is, are you ready to understand how love really works? What I'm about to share with you isn't complex theology or difficult spiritual concepts. It's simple, pure truth that will feel like coming home to yourself. Your heart already knows this truth. We're just going to clear away everything that's been covering it up so you can see clearly again. And when you see clearly, when you understand how to work with divine love instead of against it, everything changes. Not because God suddenly decides you're worthy, but because you finally understand that you always were. Let's begin this beautiful journey together. Take a deep breath with me. Feel yourself settling into this moment, into this truth that wants to unfold within you. You are loved beyond measure, and you're about to discover just how much the universe wants to shower you with every good thing. Now, let me share something with you that might surprise you. God doesn't operate from the same place that most of us do when we're asking for things. When we're in need or desperation, we're operating from fear. We're afraid we won't have enough. We won't be enough. We won't receive what we need. This fear energy, though completely understandable, creates a vibration that actually pushes away the very things we're trying to attract. It's not that God is punishing us or withholding from us. It's that love and fear simply cannot occupy the same space. Think about it this way. When someone approaches you from a place of desperation or neediness, what happens in your body? You might feel compassion for them, but you also might feel like stepping back a little. There's something about desperation that creates distance, even when we want to help. Divine love operates on the same principle, not because God is human, but because love itself has a certain quality that responds to love and feels neutral toward fear. When we approach the divine from a place of love, gratitude, and trust, we're speaking the same language that the universe speaks. We're vibrating at the same frequency as our desires. We're not pushing against the flow of love. We're allowing ourselves to be carried by it. This doesn't mean we can't ask for what we need. It means we ask from a different place within ourselves. The sacred truth is this: God gives to God. The divine in you recognizes the divine in everything you desire, and when these two energies meet in harmony, manifestation is as natural as breathing. But when we approach from ego, from fear, from a sense of separation, we're trying to use human effort to access divine power, and it simply doesn't work that way. It's like trying to use a key from one house to open the door of another house. The mechanism isn't designed to work that way. This is why some people seem to receive so effortlessly while others struggle. It's not about favoritism or luck or even worthiness in the way we typically think about it. It's about alignment. Those who receive easily have learned, consciously or unconsciously, to align their inner state with the vibration of love and appreciation. They ask from a place of already feeling blessed, rather than from a place of feeling lacking. Here's what this means for you. Every time you notice yourself approaching prayer or manifestation from desperation, you can gently shift. You can take a moment to find something, anything, that you're genuinely grateful for. You can connect with the love that already exists in your life, even if it's just the love you feel for a pet or the warmth of sunlight on your skin. From this place of already feeling blessed, your requests become alignment rather than begging. They become communion rather than petition. This is the sacred truth that changes everything. You don't need to earn God's love because you already have it. You don't need to prove your worthiness because you're made of the same essence that creates everything beautiful in this world. You simply need to remember how to receive what's already being given. One of the most beautiful realizations you can have is that your deepest desires aren't random wants that may or may not be granted. They're actually the divine within you calling you toward your highest expression. When you truly desire something that comes from love rather than fear, that desire is God desiring to experience itself through you in that particular way. Your dreams of abundance, love, creativity, health, and joy aren't separate from divine will. They are divine will expressing itself through your unique heart. But here's where so many of us get stuck. We try to control how our desires manifest. We create detailed plans about exactly how things should unfold, when they should happen, and what they should look like. We become attached not just to the outcome, but to the specific path we think will get us there. And then, when things don't unfold according to our timeline or our methods, we assume it means no, when often it just means not yet, or not that way. The divine has a perspective that we simply cannot have from our human vantage point. We see our lives from ground level, but love sees from a much higher view. What might look like a detour or delay from our perspective might actually be the most direct path from love's perspective. What might seem like a closed door might actually be protection from something that wouldn't truly serve us, or redirection towards something even better than what we originally thought we wanted. Learning to release control doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your dreams. It means learning to hold your desires with an open hand instead of a clenched fist. It means trusting that the same intelligence that knows how to make your heart beat and your wounds heal also knows the perfect way and timing for your desires to manifest. It means shifting from trying to make things happen to allowing things to happen through you. This shift changes everything about how you pray, how you set intentions, and how you take action. Instead of forcing and pushing and trying to manipulate circumstances, you begin to move with a different quality of energy. You take inspired action rather than desperate action. You trust the unfolding rather than fighting against it. You collaborate with divine timing rather than demanding your own timeline. When you release the need to control, you actually gain access to a much more powerful way of creating. You align yourself with the same force that moves galaxies and grows gardens. You stop working against the flow of life and start working with it. And when you're working with the flow of divine love rather than against it, things that seemed impossible become not only possible, but inevitable. This doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean you'll never feel impatient or want to take control again. It's a practice, a gentle returning to trust over and over again. But each time you choose trust over control, each time you choose to surrender your timeline to divine timing, you strengthen this muscle of faith. And the more you practice this, the more you'll begin to see evidence that you really can trust. You'll start to notice how things work out in ways that are better than what you originally planned. You'll see how delays often lead to better opportunities. You'll experience how letting go of one thing creates space for something even more wonderful to enter your life. The invitation here is to examine where in your life you might be holding on too tightly. Where are you trying to force outcomes instead of allowing them? Where are you demanding that things happen on your schedule instead of trusting divine timing? These aren't meant to be questions that make you feel wrong or bad about yourself. They're invitations to gently release what isn't serving you so you can make space for what wants to flow into your life naturally. One of the deepest wounds that so many of us carry is the belief that we're not worthy of receiving good things. Maybe you learned this as a child when you were told that wanting things was selfish, or that you had to earn love through being good enough, smart enough, or helpful enough. Maybe you absorbed the message that spiritual people shouldn't desire material things, or that poverty is somehow more holy than abundance. Perhaps you heard that you should be grateful for whatever crumbs life gives you and not ask for more. These beliefs run so deep that most of us don't even realize we're carrying them. They operate like background programs in our consciousness, quietly sabotaging our ability to receive while we consciously tell ourselves we want abundance. This is why you can do all the right things, say all the right affirmations, and visualize all you want, but still struggle to manifest what you desire. The surface mind might be saying yes to abundance, but the deeper mind is saying no because it believes you don't deserve it. But here's what I want you to understand with every cell of your being. Your worthiness isn't something you earn, it's something you are. Before you did anything right or wrong, before you achieved anything or failed at anything, before you were helpful or difficult or anything else, you were worthy. Not because of anything you did, but because of what you are. You are an expression of divine love in human form. The same force that creates stars and oceans and butterflies lives within you. How could such a creation be anything but worthy of every good thing? The belief that you're not worthy doesn't come from God or the universe. It comes from humans who were taught the same lie and passed it down without realizing what they were doing. It comes from systems and structures that benefit from keeping people small and grateful for scraps. It comes from misunderstandings about what it means to be spiritual or good. But it doesn't come from the source of all creation, which knows only love and abundance. When you begin to heal these worthiness wounds, something beautiful happens. You stop apologizing for your desires. You stop feeling guilty for wanting a beautiful life. You stop minimizing your dreams or talking yourself out of what your heart truly longs for. You begin to understand that your desires for love, abundance, beauty, joy, and fulfillment aren't selfish wants. They're the divine within you calling you toward your fullest expression. This healing often requires going back to those early messages you received about deserving and worthiness. It might mean feeling compassion for the child within you who learned to believe they weren't enough. It might mean recognizing how these beliefs have been running your life from behind the scenes, keeping you in jobs that don't fulfill you, relationships that don't nourish you, or financial situations that stress you. And then it means gently, lovingly, choosing new beliefs that align with the truth of who you really are. The mirror of self-love is one of the most powerful tools for healing worthiness wounds. How you treat yourself is how you're teaching the universe to treat you. When you speak kindly to yourself, care for your needs, celebrate your successes, and forgive your mistakes, you're demonstrating the kind of treatment you believe you deserve. When you neglect yourself, criticize yourself, or ignore your own needs, you're showing the universe that this is how you expect to be treated. This doesn't mean the universe is punishing you for negative self-talk or rewarding you for positive self-talk. It means that your relationship with yourself creates the template for all your other relationships, including your relationship with abundance, love, and joy. When you truly believe you deserve good things, you naturally make choices that align with receiving them. When you doubt your worthiness, you unconsciously sabotage opportunities or settle for less than what truly serves you. The beautiful thing about worthiness is that it's not a destination you arrive at someday when you've finally done enough work on yourself. It's a recognition you can have right now. In this very moment, you can choose to acknowledge your inherent worth. You can choose to see yourself through the eyes of divine love rather than through the lens of old conditioning. You can choose to treat yourself with the kindness and care that reflects your true value. Now let's talk about how to communicate with the divine in a way that opens the floodgates of receiving. Most of us learn to pray from a place of lack, focusing on everything that's wrong or missing in our lives. We approach the divine like we're presenting a complaint to customer service, detailing all the ways life isn't working and demanding that things be fixed. While this kind of prayer can provide emotional release, it doesn't align us with receiving because it keeps our attention focused on what we don't have rather than on the abundance that's available. The language that the universe speaks most fluently is gratitude and appreciation. When you approach the divine from this place, you're not just asking for things, you're celebrating the relationship itself. You're acknowledging the gifts that are already present in your life, and this acknowledgement opens your awareness to receive even more. It's like tuning into a radio station. When you're vibrating at the frequency of appreciation, you can receive transmissions of abundance. When you're vibrating at the frequency of complaint, you can only receive more things to complain about. This doesn't mean you should pretend everything is perfect when it's not, or that you can't be honest about your challenges and needs. It means that you frame even your requests within a context of appreciation for what's already good. Instead of saying, "My life is terrible and I need this to change," you might say, "I'm so grateful for the strength that's carried me through difficult times, and I'm ready to receive the abundance that I know is available to me." Authentic prayer is a conversation, not a monologue. It's a communion between your heart and the heart of creation. Sometimes this looks like asking for specific things, but often it looks like simply spending time in appreciation for the miraculous fact that you exist at all. It looks like marveling at the sunset, or feeling grateful for the breath moving through your body, or appreciating the love you feel for someone dear to you. These moments of pure appreciation create an opening in your consciousness through which abundance can flow. When you shift from complaint consciousness to blessing consciousness, you begin to see your life differently. Instead of focusing on what's missing, you start noticing what's present. Instead of cataloging problems, you start recognizing solutions and opportunities. This shift in perception doesn't change your external circumstances immediately, but it changes your experience of them. And this change in experience gradually attracts different circumstances. The transformative power of authentic prayer lies in its ability to align you with love rather than fear. When you pray from appreciation, you're not trying to get something from God. You're celebrating the connection that already exists. You're acknowledging that you and the divine are not separate, that the love you're seeking is already present within and around you. From this place of connection, receiving becomes natural because you're no longer trying to bridge a gap that doesn't actually exist. Understanding divine timing is one of the most challenging and most liberating aspects of working with universal laws. We live in a culture that values instant gratification and immediate results. We want what we want when we want it, and waiting feels like punishment or evidence that something isn't working. But divine timing operates according to principles that our human minds can't fully comprehend from our limited perspective. Divine timing takes into account factors that we can't see. It considers not just what you want, but what will truly serve your highest good. It looks at the ripple effects of events and how your receiving will impact not just you, but everyone connected to you. It understands the growth and preparation that might be necessary for you to fully receive and appreciate what you're asking for. It sees the bigger picture of your soul's journey and how each experience fits into your overall evolution. This doesn't mean you should become passive and just wait for things to happen to you. Divine timing works through you, not despite you. Your job is to take inspired action, to prepare yourself for receiving, to heal what needs healing, and to become the person who can hold and appreciate the abundance you're calling in. But it also means trusting that there's a wisdom greater than your own, orchestrating the details of how and when things unfold. Patience becomes a form of faith when you understand that delays aren't denials. When something you've been asking for hasn't manifested yet, it doesn't mean it's not coming. It might mean that other pieces need to fall into place first. It might mean that you're being prepared to receive something even better than what you originally requested. It might mean that the timing needs to align with other people's journeys as well as your own. One of the signs that you're in alignment with universal flow is that you begin to feel peaceful about the timing of things. You stop fighting against the pace of your life and start trusting it. You notice synchronicities and meaningful coincidences that let you know you're on the right path, even when you can't see the destination yet. You feel guided in your actions rather than driven by desperation or fear. Another sign of alignment is that opportunities begin appearing naturally. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. People show up who can help you in unexpected ways. Resources become available just when you need them. This isn't magic. It's what happens when you stop swimming against the current and start flowing with it. When you're aligned with divine timing, you're working with the same force that creates perfect seasons and orchestrates the dance of planets. Everything begins to feel more effortless, even when you're taking action and working towards your goals. Learning to identify and clear the blocks that separate us from divine love is one of the most important pieces of spiritual work we can do. These blocks aren't walls that God has put up to keep us out. They're walls that we've built to protect ourselves, often without even realizing it. They're old beliefs, inherited patterns, and protective mechanisms that served us at one time, but now keep us from receiving the very love and abundance we're seeking. Many of these blocks were formed in childhood when we didn't understand that adults' behavior had more to do with their own wounds than with our worthiness. When a parent was unavailable emotionally, we might have concluded that we weren't important enough to receive attention. When we were criticized or punished, we might have decided that we were fundamentally flawed. When we saw adults struggling with money or relationships, we might have absorbed the belief that life is supposed to be hard and that suffering is inevitable. These early conclusions become the lens through which we see ourselves and the world. They operate automatically, filtering our experiences to confirm what we already believe to be true. If we believe we're not worthy of love, we'll unconsciously attract relationships that prove this belief. If we believe that money is scarce and hard to come by, we'll make choices that keep us struggling financially. If we believe that good things don't last, we'll sabotage positive situations before they can disappoint us. Religious and cultural conditioning often adds another layer of blocks. Many of us inherited beliefs about God being angry, punishing, or withholding. We learned that we had to be perfect to deserve love, that our natural desires were sinful, or that we had to suffer in this life to earn rewards in the next. These beliefs create a fearful relationship with the divine rather than a loving one, and fear always blocks the flow of good into our lives. Ancestral patterns can also create blocks that feel mysterious because they don't seem to relate to anything in our personal experience. These are beliefs and traumas that have been passed down through family lines, sometimes for generations. You might find yourself struggling with money in ways that mirror your grandparents' relationship with scarcity, or you might have relationship patterns that echo ancestral betrayals or losses. These inherited patterns can be healed just like personal ones, but first they need to be recognized and acknowledged. Forgiveness becomes essential in clearing these blocks, but not the kind of forgiveness that says what happened was okay or that you should forget about it. The kind of forgiveness that sets you free is the recognition that holding on to resentment, anger, or blame keeps you connected to the very experiences you want to move beyond. Forgiveness is something you do for yourself, not for the people who hurt you. It's the decision to stop letting past experiences control your present experience. This includes forgiving yourself for the choices you made when you didn't know better, for the times you believed lies about your worth, for the ways you might have hurt others when you were operating from your own wounds. Self-forgiveness is often the hardest and most important forgiveness work we do because we tend to be our own harshest critics. But you can't receive love from the universe while you're withholding love from yourself. Clearing blocks isn't usually a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of becoming aware of limiting beliefs as they arise and choosing new thoughts that align with love instead of fear. Every time you catch yourself thinking a thought that makes you feel small, separate, or unworthy, you have an opportunity to choose again. Every time you notice yourself acting from an old pattern, you can pause and ask yourself, what choice would align with your highest good? The beautiful thing about this work is that as you clear blocks in one area of your life, it affects all areas. As you heal your relationship with money, your relationships with people improve. As you release old resentments, your physical health often improves. As you forgive yourself, you naturally become more compassionate with others. Everything is connected, and healing in one area creates more space for love to flow in all areas. Creating daily practices that keep you connected to divine love is essential for maintaining the shifts you're making and continuing to deepen your relationship with abundance. These don't need to be complicated or time-consuming practices. They just need to be consistent and authentic to who you are. The goal isn't to perform spirituality perfectly, but to create regular opportunities for your heart to remember its connection to something greater than your everyday concerns. A beautiful way to begin each day is with a few moments of appreciation before you even get out of bed. While you're still in that soft space between sleep and full wakefulness, let yourself feel grateful for the night of rest, for the breath moving through your body, for whatever simple pleasure you can connect with in that moment. This sets a tone of receptivity and gratitude that carries through your entire day. Morning spiritual alignment might also include setting an intention for how you want to show up in the world. Not what you want to accomplish or achieve, but what quality of presence you want to bring to your interactions. Maybe you want to be more patient, more generous, more trusting, or more joyful. When you start your day by connecting with these higher qualities, you create a magnetic field that attracts experiences that match this vibration. Throughout the day, you can maintain this connection through what I call micro practices. These are tiny moments of returning to love and appreciation that don't require stopping what you're doing or finding a quiet space. You might feel grateful for the taste of your morning coffee, appreciate the smile of a stranger, or take a deep breath and feel thankful for your body's ability to breathe automatically. These small moments of conscious appreciation accumulate throughout the day and keep you aligned with receiving. Evening practices help you process the day and release anything that isn't serving you before you sleep. This might include reviewing the day with gratitude for what went well, forgiving yourself for any mistakes or missed opportunities, and setting the intention to release any stress or worry that you picked up during the day. You might also spend a few moments appreciating the people in your life, sending them love and gratitude even if they're not physically present. Creating sacred space doesn't require having a special room or expensive spiritual tools. Sacred space is created by your intention and attention. You can create a sacred moment while washing dishes by feeling grateful for having food to eat and clean water to wash with. You can create sacred space while walking by appreciating the miracle of your body's ability to move and the beauty of whatever you're seeing around you. You can create sacred space while waiting in line by sending love to the people around you. The key to successful spiritual practice is gentleness with yourself. There will be days when you forget to do your practices, when you get caught up in stress or drama, when you lose connection with love and appreciation. This is completely normal and human. The practice isn't about being perfect. It's about returning to love again and again. Each time you remember to choose love over fear, appreciation over complaint, trust over control, you strengthen this new way of being. These practices gradually change not just how you feel, but how you see. They shift your perception from focusing on what's wrong to noticing what's right. They help you recognize opportunities and synchronicities that you might have missed when you were operating from fear or scarcity. They align you with the frequency of abundance so that abundance can find you more easily. Living as a divine being doesn't mean pretending to be perfect or acting like you don't have human challenges and emotions. It means remembering that beneath all the human experiences of struggle and learning, there's a part of you that is eternal, perfect, and connected to the source of all creation. Living as a divine being means letting this deeper truth influence how you move through the world, how you treat yourself and others, and how you respond to both challenges and blessings. When you truly understand that you are an expression of divine love, it changes how you interact with others. You begin to see the divine in them too, even when they're not expressing it clearly. You respond to their essence rather than just their behavior. This doesn't mean you become a doormat or allow others to treat you poorly. It means you maintain healthy boundaries while holding compassion for the pain that causes people to act in unloving ways. Embodying love in daily interactions might look like speaking to the checkout person at the grocery store with genuine kindness, listening to a friend's problems without trying to fix them, or choosing to assume positive intent when someone's behavior confuses or frustrates you. It might mean treating your work as a form of service, regardless of what that work is. When you approach any task with the intention of bringing love to it, that task becomes a spiritual practice. Sharing your divine gifts through service doesn't necessarily mean volunteering at a charity or doing obviously spiritual work, though it might include those things. Your divine gifts are the unique ways that love wants to express itself through you. Maybe your gift is making people laugh, creating beautiful things, solving practical problems, or simply holding space for others to feel safe and heard. When you share these gifts freely and joyfully, you become a channel through which divine love flows into the world. This kind of service isn't about sacrificing yourself for others or giving until you're depleted. Divine service nourishes the giver as much as the receiver, Because it aligns you with your true purpose and natural expression. When you're sharing your gifts authentically, it feels energizing rather than draining. It connects you to your own power and worthwhile, simultaneously blessing others. Becoming a channel for divine love also means letting yourself receive love and support from others. Many people who are good at giving have difficulty receiving, but being a channel means allowing energy to flow both ways. When someone offers you help, compliments you, or shows you kindness, receiving gracefully is a way of honoring the divine in them. It's a way of keeping the circle of love flowing rather than blocking it with false humility or the belief that you should be completely self-sufficient. Living as a divine being is ultimately about remembering who you really are beneath all the roles you play and identities you've adopted. It's about connecting with the part of you that existed before you were born and will continue after this lifetime. This doesn't diminish your humanity, it illuminates it. When you know yourself as both human and divine, you can fully embrace the beautiful messiness of human life while staying connected to the peace and love that is your true nature. As we come to the close of our time together, I want you to feel in your heart how much you are loved. Not because of anything you've done or any way you've changed while listening to these words, but simply because you exist. The same force that breathes life into flowers and moves the tides is breathing life into you right now. You are not an accident or a mistake. You are a divine idea in expression, and your presence in this world matters more than you know. The truth that I want you to carry with you is this: God wants to give you everything not because you've earned it, but because you are it. You are an expression of the divine abundance, love, and creativity that creates everything beautiful in this universe. When you align with this truth, when you live from this knowing, when you treat yourself and others as the divine beings you are, you naturally attract and receive the good that is your birthright. This doesn't mean your life will suddenly become perfect or that you'll never face challenges again. It means you'll face those challenges from a different place within yourself. You'll meet them as someone who knows they are loved, supported, and guided. You'll approach them as someone who trusts that even difficult experiences can serve your highest good when you're willing to find the lesson and the blessing within them. The practices we've explored today are invitations, not rules. Use what resonates with your heart and leave the rest. Trust your own inner wisdom to guide you toward the spiritual practices and beliefs that serve your unique path. Remember that your relationship with the divine is completely personal and doesn't need to look like anyone else's relationship. Most importantly, be patient and gentle with yourself as you integrate these new ways of thinking and being. Change happens gradually, layer by layer, moment by moment. Every time you choose love over fear, trust over control, appreciation over complaint, you're rewiring your consciousness and opening yourself more fully to receive the infinite good that is always available to you. You are so deeply loved, beautiful soul. You are worthy of every good thing your heart desires. You are supported, guided, and cherished by the very force that creates miracles. Trust this, live from this knowing, and watch as your life transforms in the most wonderful ways.